And then there were 8. Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to race number 33 of the debut season of the PCSRA Winston Cup Series, getting set for the running of the Cookout Southern 500. Getting ready for 37 laps of racing here today. This is the first race of the Elite 8 here at the Darlington Raceway in Darlington, South Carolina. Should be a very interesting race to see what we are going to see here today for 37 laps. Margaret Jacobs is on the pole position for this race. She comes into this race 29th in the points. B Barrett, who just recently moved on to the next round, she is 4th in the standings. Mia Watts in row number 2. Let's see. Mia Watts comes into this race 33rd in the points. Alongside of her is the driver who was just recently eliminated from the playoffs. That would be Ashley Reynolds. Here today, as you look at the rest of the starting lineup, figure out where the remaining 8 drivers that are battling for the championship. Those 8 drivers are Cody Smart, B Tennyson, J TwoTwo, B Barrett, J Bouvier, T Montgomery, Banco Seaman, and P Albanus are your 8 drivers still battling for the championship hunt here in the Winston Cup Series. As the field rolls off behind the Pontiac Grand Prix pace car. Last week at Kansas saw the departures of A Crenshaw, Ashley Reynolds, Hannah Smith, and Elena Aurora, who are the 4 drivers eliminated from the playoff hunt. And ready for the granddaddy of all, the 37 lap of the Southern 500. This is the last time we're coming to Darlington this season. Next week, all 3 series will be at Talladega Superspeedway for Trucks, Busch, and Winston Cup Series final Superspeedway of the season, that being Talladega. And then we will have our final elimination race at Homestead Miami Speedway before we have all 3 series crowning their champions at Toronto. As we're getting set for today's race here, the Southern 500. The only race on the weekend for the Winston Cup Series. Of course, the NASCAR season's done in real life, but it's Winston Cup racing. The Elite 8 playoff part is underway. And the 10 had a flat tire, so it looks like the 10's going to get going. So nobody going to be a lap down. That's Ashley Horton, who was eliminated back in the first round of the playoffs. The driver is going to get that Darlington stripe as Margaret Jacobs will lead the first lap. As the 10 is just leaving pit road, she will sadly go 1 lap down. Got to be careful trying to merge in front of this traffic. Because remember, you're on cold tires. Oh, just pushed the 9 up the racetrack, put the 88 up into the wall. And around goes Cody Smart. Cody Smart is around, and the caution is out. And they're still wrecking. Annie Thomas, Zachary Taylor, last week's winner. Caution is no doubtably out, but the problem is the leaders the leaders did not take the caution as they're slowing down. But Cody Smart, one of our playoff contenders, got involved and thankfully didn't hit anything. As the caution is out for the first time today, let's jump back and look at the replay and see what happened to Cody Smart. This was caused because the 10 coming to pit road for a flat tire that needed to be changed. As Ashley Reynolds, who was recently eliminated, bounced off the wall into Cody Smart right in front of playoff contender P Albanus. And how everyone avoided the Mobile One dodge is incredible. Cody Smart was 9th at the time of this incident. he's going to fall back all the way to 39. So he lost a chunk of positions. And remember, he comes in this race as your points leader because of the reformatted points. And since nobody advanced into the championship four, so Cody caught a big break there as the caution is out for the first time here today. Let's jump to the restart here at Darlington. Before we go back to the restart, we're just being told the 25 of Brooklyn Carter has gone behind the wall, and this is why. This is under the yellow. This is with the Annie Thomas incident. She turns Tatum Wright into Brooklyn Carter, and they go in the wall, and unfortunately Annie Thomas got swept up in that, and that's where Zachary Taylor, last week's winner at Kansas, got spun around. Looks like 3 wide, something had to give, and Hannah Smith was in the middle of a male sandwich, and that's what spun the Kodak Pontiac around. So that's what brought out that was the follow-up wreck to the first wreck of the day. Now let's take it to restart here at Darlington. Getting ready to go back to green flag racing on lap number 7 of 37. Should give us a total of 31 laps to go. Ashley Horton, who had to pit for a flat tire coming to the green, is the first driver and only driver 1 lap down in this race. Margaret Jacobs is the leader. Mia Watts second. Brad Lewis third. Sean Hart fourth. Riley Anderson fifth. Elena Aurora, who was recently eliminated, is sixth. Seventh, Courtney Lynn. Betty Barrett eighth. Jessica Miller ninth. And Timmy Turner complete your top 10. Brooklyn Carter is the only driver out of the race due to the incident we had for that first caution. And she will end up finishing in dead last. Brooklyn Carter, 36 in the points. Been a tough season for her, and she's going to have 3 more races to try to pick up some spots after it's been a very difficult season for that 25 team. Green flag back in the air. Should note this for our Elite 8 drivers. If any of them go to victory lane, that's a ticket punched into the Final Four. The catch is their points will not carry over to the championship race at Toronto in 3 weeks' time. It will actually won't count, and it'll be the first to cross the finish line will win the championship, as Horton's going to get herself back on the lead lap, barring another caution, but that's also going to allow Brad Lewis to sweep into the lead of the race. Now, Ashley Horton will need a caution as the 17 DeWalt Ford Taurus currently leading. That's Brad Lewis. Brad Lewis has won during the playoffs, 32nd in the points, looking for his second win on the year. Sean Hart, on the other hand, 22nd in the points. He's looking for his first win on the season. We will see Sean's sister Jessie and the other 35 drivers, as well as the Busch Series drivers, at our next race next week at Talladega. Of course, the 2025 NASCAR season just came to an end last week during our second elimination race. Or check that, they came to an end today. I'm going to double check that as Brad Lewis just took the lead. Excuse me. Cody Smart back here at the rear of the field. Remember, he's 20 points above the cut line. I see some damage to this. Okay, that was probably from the 25. Okay. I was getting ready to say I saw damage on the 0, but that was from the 25 incident. As Ponzo Albanus, what on bloody earth were you doing down on the apron there, son? So was Josephine Bouvier, playoff contender. Not sure what they were doing on the apron, trying to gain something that didn't work. Annie Winters running the dog food car, the 38 pedigree machine. She'll be back in the M&M's car next week. And Senor Sean has taken the race lead. Sean's looking for his first win on the season. Lena Aurora, who just recently got eliminated, just got up into the wall. Sean Hart from Texas, not too far away from the Fort Worth area, as he just slapped the wall trying to get his first win of the year. Courtney Lynn, who didn't make the playoffs, looking for her second win of the year, and she goes down the apron, and it works for her. And now put the 5 Courtney Lynn Kellogg Chevrolet into the race lead. Courtney Lynn is 34th in the points table, as she's looking for her second win on the year. She did win earlier on this year, but like I said, was not high enough in points to have that win count for a spot into the playoffs. But Courtney knows she's going to finish her season with, now that she's been to victory lane. She just want to find some checker flags to finish off what has been a disappointing season. We will see her sisters Abigail and Hazel, and also Brenda Eling's sister Hazel. They will be racing in the Truck Series next season, taking the vacated spots, so that way they have some owner point leeway to fall back should they not make the top 31 next season, as Courtney Lynn nearly got up into the wall. And the caution is out, which is a big break for this lady right here, Ashley Horton, who's trying to beat Courtney Lynn back to the start-finish line. Now the question I was going to get ready to ask that I didn't ask in this first caution, were any of our Elite 8 playoff drivers involved? If they are, this could hurt them in terms of the championship is concerned. A lot of smoke on the front straightaway, and Ashley Horton bailed out of the throttle. Whoa. Oh no, Courtney Lynn, the leader, just hit the 48. And Sean Hart had to slam on the brakes. Cody Smart's in it for the second wreck in a row. Now you know why the 10 slammed on the brakes, trying to slow way down. Ben Tennyson's got damage. That's a playoff contender. Oh, they're still piling up in turn 3. J Harvick is in it. Luke Knight's in it. Zachary Taylor. Kevin Joseph. Timmy Turner. Luigi Cadet. It's been a difficult season, and they're still piling in. Jacob Tutu's got damage. Todd Montgomery, Brittany White, Brenda Eveling, Melissa Cooper, Luke Knight, Tatum Wright. I'm just naming off drivers who are involved in this. Banco Seaman, Jessica Miller, Margaret Jacobs, Monica Towns. This has got to be a big wreck. Ashley Reynolds, a driver who was recently eliminated. Riley Anderson's got damage. Who has not got damage? Is E Aurora the leader? Let's go back and look at what the hell happened to bring out this second yellow of the day. The big one strikes at Darlington. All right, let's see if we can try to unravel this little mess here. It's going to start with Timmy Turner, who's brushing the outside retaining wall, and he was trying to get off the wall, just didn't realize Riley Anderson was there. Sean Hart did a good job missing it, but Ashley Reynolds did not. Reynolds was recently eliminated, and A Crenshaw snuck through. And this is the problem with the front straightaways. Luigi Cadet gets a piece. There's Turner going around. I don't know if Turner got hit or not. Yeah, he's got some left side damage. B Barrett did a good job slowing down. Marty Stevens did not. And this is what causes this mumbo jumbo on the front straightaways. You got drivers who are trying to check up for the incident. Jacob TwoTwo ran the back of Banco Seaman. Then Brittany White just lifts the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. There's where the 41 gets damaged. The 77, 99, 16, 18. 4 failed to use the brakes. But how did Cody Smart get damaged? I wonder if he got plowed into by somebody. Yep, the 20. Wow, Annie Thomas came flying through there like a bull in a china shop and just ran the back of the 20. We're going to have a lot of drivers out of this race after this, and this is the problem with racing back to the caution. A lot of damage on that YJ Singer stacker, too. This is the problem with racing back to the caution. See, Courtney Lynn doesn't realize that. She's going way too quickly. See, the 10 sees what's going on. The 10 backs out because the 10 beat everybody back to the yellow. Courtney Lynn does not. And see, the 31 slammed on the brakes and runs in the back of her teammate there. And then Tennyson got a piece of it again. And did the 31 sled? Yeah, 31 took to the apron. Sean Hart nearly got collected in this. But then it's not over yet. Yeah, Barrett's got a lot of damage. We have a lot of our playoff contenders involved in this. And then this is what I don't understand. This stupidity right here under the yellow. See, Jacob TwoTwo has a lot of damage. He's trying to check up, and then he gets run over. Samantha Grainger doesn't slow down, runs in the back of the 41. Tatum Wright fails to use the brakes. Todd Montgomery failed to use the brakes. Melissa Cooper failed to use the damn brakes. For God's sakes. Brake pedals on the left there, guys. And then Bouvier runs in the back of the Cheerios Dodge. Good night. Boy, Darlington really played its part. And like I said, we're going to have a lot of drivers out of this race as they have finished the cleanup on the front and back straightaway. As the yellow's out for the second time today. The big one claimed a number of playoff drivers. We're going to find out how many are out of the race when we go back to green right now. Well, that was a big wreck that really should have not happened. As we're going back to green on lap 21 of 37. Going to be 17 laps of racing to go when we do go back to green. Aurora is the leader. Sean Hart second. A Crenshaw third. Brad Lewis fourth. Riley Anderson fifth, who has that rear end damage. Winters is sixth. Crenshaw, Maddie Crenshaw seventh. Betty Barrett eighth. Ninth, Mia Watts. And 10th is Marty Stevens. Out of the race, and there are a lot of them. Courtney Lynn, playoff contender Jacob TwoTwo will finish in 29th. Brittany White, Ben Erickson, Samantha Grainger, Todd Montgomery, 33rd. Josephine Bouvier, 34th. Hannah Smith, who was recently eliminated, 35th. Jerry Harvick, Timmy Turner, Luigi Cadet, Annie Thomas, who's been asked to see the officials in the big red truck. They are all out of the race, and they join Brooklyn Carter, who has gone behind the wall. So if you do the math, let's see. That was 11 cars that got taken out. And also Courtney Lynn failed to use the brakes and ran into the back of the 48. So there's going to be a little tempers flaring between those two girls leaving today's race. And like I said, I counted a number of playoff drivers now out of the race, and this playoff hunt just got shaken up in a hurry as we're back to green. The good news is Sean Hart caused a shitload of carnage. The bad news is there's a lot of playoff contenders out of this one. There's a reason why it's called brakes, guys. Good night. Cannot believe the Southern 500 has caused its part in a shakeup. And we got another wreck. Melissa Cooper and Tatum Wright just yeeted the 43. Zachary Taylor got a piece of it, and the caution notably out for the third time today. What is it with these drivers not using their brake pedal? Like, seriously. I don't know what on earth they're doing. Aurora will lead us back to the caution. But Tatum Wright just failed to use the brakes for really no reason. And just yeeted that wreck. Yeeted the 43. So, third caution of the day is out. Let's see what happened. Well, the same thing happened off of turn 4 like it was on the second or on the first yellow. Cooper's trying to get off the wall, and then Taylor just never gave Cooper any room. And then they just sandwiched each other. And, you know, I have to give Taylor responsibility. Oh, Tennyson got a piece of it. Didn't realize he got a piece of this incident. But if you're Zachary Taylor, you're responsible to give the driver on the outside some room. And he didn't even give Melissa Cooper any room. And then Tatum Wright just not even using the brake pedal, just rammed in the Cheerios Dodge, and this is the second time the 43, the 0, and the 4 have been involved in an incident, or the second incident in a row. So Tatum Wright's day is done, and probably she's going to be asked to see the officials in the big red truck for not using her brake pedal. So caution's out for the third time today. Let's get to the restart here at Darlington. Well, we're going to get ready to go back to green with 11 laps of racing to go. So Aurora is the leader, Crenshaw, Annie Crenshaw at second, Sean Art third. Fourth, Brad Lewis, Annie Winters fifth, Maddie Crenshaw sixth, Mia Watts seventh, Betty Barrett, Marty Stevens, and Ponzo Albanus in the top 10. Tatum Wright, the only driver out of the race. So, looking at the final four here, it looks like it's going to be Barrett, Albanus, Seaman, and Smart would be the four drivers in the final four. So that would mean the four drivers in the danger zone heading into next week's race, barring anything happens, would be Tennyson, TwoTwo, as we're back to green, Montgomery, and Bouvier. Those would be the four in the danger zone going into Talladega. So those four will definitely need a good run going into next week, or find themselves heading into Homestead in a must-win situation. Lane Aurora, part of DVR, was recently eliminated from the playoffs along with Annie Crenshaw in the 2. Of course, Crenshaw had a very good season. It sucked that her playoff hopes came to an end. But Annie Crenshaw looking for her third win on the season. Of course, I also forgot to mention at the beginning of the season that because this is a new series and all that, there is not going to be Rookie of the Year on the line. There will be Rookie of the Year next season. It's been a very good season for Annie Crenshaw. As we look at the back of the field, Cody Smart getting passed by Ashley Reynolds, who was recently eliminated from the playoffs. It looks like Tennyson just got around Cody Smart, so Tennyson would have that final spot to make the playoffs, or to make the final four. And Zachary Taylor almost got turned by Brenda Eveling, even though Taylor should have just given Eveling a little bit more room. And believe it or not, all of our playoff drivers have had troubles today, with the exception of Ponzo Albanus, who still has a front and a back end on his Ford, as Monica Towns roughing up Margaret Jacobs. As we're coming to the end of this carnage-filled race, Annie Crenshaw just slapped the wall off of turn 2. That's going to give Elena Aurora the lead. It's been a great run for Elena Aurora, Annie Crenshaw, the drivers who were recently eliminated from the playoffs. It's a shame their playoff journey came to an end. If this was an elimination race, they would have made the round of 12. And they're going to catch some lap traffic pretty soon, as we're down to 4 laps to go. I'm sorry. Lena Aurora just trying to finish out her season with as many trips to victory lane as possible, as all three of the RCR cars did make the playoffs, which is impressive. Now Annie Winters, who is going to take the lead. Robert Yates Racing will have 4 cars for next season's Winston Cup Series. Annie Winters will be back with this 38 team next season. Ashley Reynolds will also be back in the 88 next season. And then they got to fill out the 2 voids, as Crenshaw just slapped the wall again. And all those cars that were not entered this year will be, quote, go or go homers, as Winter slapped the wall again. As they're getting held up by Cody Smart, who, by the way, that's Annie Crenshaw's teammate, I should point out. Oh, and by the way, we're coming to the white flag, I should point out. Maddie Crenshaw trying to sneak an opportunity as we're on the last lap of the race. All these drivers all stuck behind the Bull 1 Dodge. Cody is just trying to hold up the 31. Maddie Crenshaw's coming. Here comes Maddie Crenshaw. She's not getting held up. She's going to use Cody Smart as a pick. This could be one of the most famous Darlington finishes. Maddie Crenshaw just got around Elena Aurora. Maddie Crenshaw will win the Southern 500. Maddie Crenshaw has done it at Darlington. 35th in points. Becomes the 3rd driver from Indiana Motorsports to go to victory lane. And she does it at one of the crown jewel events, the Southern 500. Ashley Horton fell out of the race due to a piston failure. Tough break for her. Standings are now official. Happy for Maddie Crenshaw. It's been a difficult season for her, but finally get her first win of the year. And both Crenshaw sisters will be locked in the All-Star race next season. Mia Watts will get 2nd. Good run for Mia Watts. 3rd will be Elena Aurora. She will definitely not be happy with Cody Smart, which Cody Smart helped Zachary Taylor's driver, Maddie Crenshaw, win intentionally. Just saying. Annie Winters will come away with 4th. Good run for Annie Winters. Good run for Elena Aurora, who recently got eliminated. P Albanus will take the points lead as he comes away with 5th. He was tied for 6th in the points. He will take the points lead because a lot of drivers ahead of him had troubles today, and he was the only one who didn't have any front or rear end damage on his machine, so he's going to be sitting pretty good. 6 is Annie Crenshaw. Great run for her after she was eliminated last week at Kansas. Margaret Jacobs will get 7th, Brad Lewis 8th, Monica Towns 9th, and Senior Sean Art will complete your top 10. Sean will be back with Ultra Motorsports next season. So we only had Albanus, the only driver that was in the top 10 that was a playoff driver. Where did the other 7 finish? Vanko Seaman, 11th. Betty Barrett, 13th. Could have been worse for Barrett if you ask me. Let me pull up my deal so I'm not derping on who's in the playoffs and who's not. Cody Smart, 23rd. He'll be a lap down as you look on down to the rest of the finishing results. Melissa Cooper, Ben Tennyson were also off the lead lap. Tennyson, 25th, and then the other 3 out of the race, TwoTwo, Montgomery, and Bouvier, and other drivers that were out with other than Horton, Tatum Wright, Courtney Lynn, Brittany White, Ben Erickson, Samantha Grainger, Hannah Smith, Jerry Harvick, Timmy Turner, Luigi Cadet, Annie Thomas, and Brooklyn Carter, who have gone behind the wall after a complete wreckfest that we had here today at Darlington. But Maddie Crenshaw will be celebrating in victory lane. She's a former Daytona 500 champion on this channel. Now she just added a Southern 500 trophy to the trophy case, and it becomes the third Indiana Motorsports driver to go to victory lane here this season. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Darlington, which was a wreck fest. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCSRA crew today. We've shown your full finish results. Your playoff points and point standings are down in the description heading into next week's race at Talladega, which we will have all 3 series from the high banks in Alabama. We'll see you guys there as you've been watching yet another broadcast of PCSRA TV, where champions are made since 2010 and 15 years is the best in the racing around the world since 2017. I'm D. DeVoyle, so long from Darlington.